The Atlantic is out with a new cover story this morning, taking a revealing look at how our nation has treated people with intellectual disabilities. Author Jennifer Senior shares her deeply personal story of her own aunt, Adele, who was born in 1951 with various intellectual disabilities and was sent away to an institution as a toddler. Jen's mother would not see her only sister for another 40 years. And it wasn't until Jen was 12 years old that she even learned she had an aunt. Jen chronicles the journey in a new piece entitled The Ones We Sent Away, shining a light on how past generations sent family members, like her aunt, away, warehousing them and falsely believing there was a ceiling on their intellectual growth. Jen describes what it was like to truly get to know her Aunt Adele, discovering how the care she received later in life helped restore her humanity and identity. Jen also delves into how her aunt's life may have been so different if she were born just a generation later. And Jen joins us now. It's interesting in looking at your piece. It's not just the ceiling on their intellectual abilities, but the value that any human being can offer the world, for sure. I would love to hear about the tweet and what inspired you to write this amazing cover story.
Thank you. And thank you for that perfect summary. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to rewatch it and then tell it to everybody. The tweet that inspired this was, and it's strange to be inspired by Twitter because it's otherwise this kind of toxic id, right? But my husband had spotted it. An English theater director had done this very innocuous but beautiful and very heartfelt tweet saying, my son Joey has turned 25 today, and he's never spoken a word in his life, but he has taught me more than I will ever know. And it was not designed to get clicks or, you know, all the kind of hurrahs. It wasn't designed to appeal to the groundlings. And it went wicked viral. It just whipped around the internet. And what was interesting about it wasn't just its virality, it was the replies that he got, right? Because the replies were all of these parents of kids with intellectual disabilities posting pictures of their kids. And some were very little and some were old. Some were really quite old. So the parents were elderly, or it was a brother who was 20. There's one man in his 70s. I mean, this is my brother who has never spoken either. And you're just looking at all these portraits and they were just pulsingly alive. They were people. And I realized only about halfway through scrolling, oh my God, I have someone like this in my family and I don't know them at all. Nothing. So I decided that I was going to go and find her. Like at the time, my aunt was 70.
That's incredible. And I'd love to learn more about your journey with your aunt in terms of getting to know her, but also what the overall message is about how perhaps we view, not just treat, but how we view people with intellectual disabilities, how it has changed, but perhaps needs to change much more.
So you said something very, very precise and very concise, which is that back in 1953, when my aunt was institutionalized, which was customary for the day, that's what all families did, pretty much. So my aunt was not even a toddler. She was 21 months. And the idea, a doctor looked at her and said, my grandmother was convinced that something was different about her, but didn't know what. And a doctor bluntly looked at her one day and said, that child that you have is a microcephalitic idiot, which was a precise medical phrase. It was actually the terminology of the day. And the belief was, you send people like that away. You got them out of your lives, because your life was never going to be the same, and they had no potential for growth. So they should go to a place where they could get whatever they could get, but it wouldn't be much. They'd be cultivated, but there wasn't much to cultivate. There wasn't this thought that brains are plastic, that, you know, people with intellectual disabilities have all kinds of untapped potential. They learn differently. You have to find other means. None of this was on the table. She was sent to Willowbrook, which was this Gothic palace of horrors, later exposed by, of all people, Geraldo, who, no matter what you think of him now, did extraordinary things in exposing the abuses at Willowbrook, which were just ghastly. And, you know, they were warehoused, 80 people on a floor with 2 attendants, barely fed, barely clothed, wailing, you know, sitting in diapers, like sometimes naked. I mean, it reeked of urine. You know, I mean, this is how life was right through the 70s for most people with disabilities. We think of them, I mean, now we've got all kinds of state interventions and, you know, programs that make it possible to cultivate those with intellectual and physical disabilities, and speech therapy and occupational therapy. People come to your house gratis for free. But there was nothing back then, nothing.
Jen, that was in 1953. My God, it sounds like the kind of Victorian ages. The scenes that you're describing.
It's Dickensian. It's totally Dickensian.
It's totally Dickensian. Talk a little bit now about, I know that you've been in contact with the parents of children that have this syndrome today. What's the treatment different, and what kind of progress are kids getting with the right treatment? What are they making?
So this was the heartbreaking, thank you for bringing that up. This is what broke my heart, right? Was seeing a kind of counterfactual, like a what if. I found someone, I had my aunt genetically tested. She had never been genetically tested. And she has a very rare mutation of a very rare, you know, syndrome as it is. And there was something like only 12 people who had it when the paper first came out about it in 2020. Now it's probably up to like 30 to 50 people. One of them was a little girl. She was 7 years old, and she lives in Kansas City. And she's this, right outside. And she's this bright, bubbly ingenue who has this highly dedicated mother who, first of all, she was mainstreamed. And she had this explosion of speech when she was about 5 years old. She started out very similar to my aunt, walked late, couldn't sit up, had almost no speech. And eventually, she's now, I mean, she talks in complete sentences. She has a total access to her inner life. She can add and subtract. She doesn't know the days of the week, but I mean, there are things she doesn't know, but she's going to be this thriving human being. She knows just what she wants. She's full of pluck. She'll have a job, I bet. My aunt, she was narcotized within an inch of her life. She was given all of these antipsychotic medications that did her no good, that just sedated her until she was maybe like 30. Can you imagine if that window she had been loved, shown one particle, one molecule of love, and one molecule of interest in her growth, in her intellectual growth, in her emotional growth. She was instead, by turns, I think, frustrated and couldn't articulate it. I think she lived with undiagnosed autism, which seems to be a part of this syndrome. It's part of the family of things that come with it. And all these things were diagnosed very early in this beautiful 7-year-old girl. Her name is Emma Feist. She's fabulous. And she knows how to regulate a lot of her emotions. And she talked to me about her besties at school. I mean, it was surreal compared to, you know, talking with my aunt, where the speech was very halting and sort of syncopated. It's just not the same, right? I mean, that window came and went. And I don't know what happened to her in all those years that she was institutionalized. She doesn't have the ability to articulate it. She's just this opaque, right? I mean, she's just this Russian doll of nested trauma, for all we know.
I really, really appreciate your sharing her story and your story as well, in terms of processing what has happened in your family. And this piece is the cover story of the new issue of The Atlantic. Staff writer at The Atlantic, Jen Senior, thank you so much for sharing that story with us.
Thank you so much for having me on.